Hey Gators and sports fans, get all your Gator talk, news, analysis, and opinions on the PodUp with Matthews in the Morning podcast. Find us on your favorite podcast platform or watch us on Facebook Live between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. every weekday. PodUp, because we are Gator fans. So say it's great to be a Florida Gator.
Good morning and welcome to a Monday edition of PodUp with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Hope everyone had a great weekend this week. We got a little bit more to talk about. We're going to crank up SEC Media Days today. The Gators kick it off about 12:30 Eastern time. So then you got LSU, Coach O, and then South Carolina rounds up today. But it goes on till Thursday. We'll have some people each day giving us a recap of what's going on. Also, so many people enjoyed the 80s flashback. What we're going to do this week, since it's still talking season and not a lot of sports going on, we're going to have a little Gator QBs in the second section of each show. But first, we're going to go to the Titan MR hotline, and we're joined by Corn Dog. Good morning, JC. How are you?
Yeah, I'm hanging in there, QB. Thanks for calling this morning. I appreciate it. I'm in the Grand Traverse Resort and Spa in Traverse City, Michigan, and I can tell you there's not much resort to that whole place. We had no running water last night. There was no drinking water either. So,
wow.
I'm drinking water out of a sink, and I had 3 maintenance guys in here at 7 a.m. That was nice. So I'm doing great. Thanks. I mean, it's great to be here, and we're going to play some golf this week and see if things can get better, hopefully.
Yeah, it doesn't sound I would check with your travel agent on that and see who put this trip together, because it doesn't sound like it started out very well.
Well, listen, I mean, you come here, you have high expectations, but I always advise folks when they travel to lower their expectations. And it's one of those things where I guess 99% of the rest of the hotel rooms here worked with hot water. But I had to, after the guys fixed the damn shower, it was a real balancing act between boiling hot water and really cold water. So, I had to use my talent in the shower this morning to try to get it just right. But I survived it, and I'll find something to eat somewhere, I think. I really don't know what to do. But I'm here anyway. I'm close to Lake Michigan and Canada and all these places that are nowhere near where I'm used to be. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're a world traveler. We all know that. But
right.
Yeah, I had a big weekend in Mississippi, JC. We had a little reunion for our state championship team, which has been voted as the greatest high school football team in the history of Mississippi high school football. So
wow.
It was it's a different world in Mississippi, but it was a lot of fun to see all my former high school teammates and what they got going on these days. We've had several die, so they're going to try to do something every year. But it was maybe one of the best high school football teams in the history of the United States. But anyway,
hold on a second, Hall of Famer. What did you win your state championship game? What was the score of that game?
I don't even know. It was a blowout.
Okay, what about the semifinal game?
It was in a driving rainstorm, and we won. It was a close game.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you might as well win if it's a driving rainstorm. I hear you.
Yeah, it was raining sideways. It was a tough night to throw the football. I'll say that.
You won.
Yep, that's all that matters. Win and advance, JC. That's what you're supposed to do in the playoffs. Win and advance.
Well,
all right,
so the Milwaukee Bucks are doing that. Milwaukee Bucks last night won, and they are advancing to the championship. It looks like with a Game 6 at home. I'm surprised by this, QB.
Yeah, I missed it, but they're spacing this damn NBA Finals out. They got another. They had yesterday off. They got today off. They don't play again until tomorrow night. But the Bucks have a chance to win a NBA Finals title. John says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Metal Law, the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. QB, I always love SEC Media Days because it signifies that college football is getting close. Do you think Dan gets asked more about Emory or the defense today? I think he's going to get asked about both. quite a bit. And as we mentioned, Dan Mullen is the first coach to go. I think it's 12:30 Eastern time. It may be Central time, but I'm not sure. But it's basically when media days roll around, that means we're getting close. We're very, very close.
So, QB, are you surprised that Dan didn't bring any offensive players? I mean, I don't think anybody really cares what a linebacker and well, maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But I would think that with all the guys being replaced on the offensive side of the ball, that would be the focus of most of the questions. And certainly Florida has to get better on the defensive side of the ball. But I'm thinking, all right, who's going to score points for this team? And that would be the question for me. What do you think?
Well, there's a lot of question marks. I think that's why a lot of the so-called experts out there aren't quite sure what to expect from the Florida Gators this year. You lost so much firepower and really good players on offense. Defense struggled. I was thinking, okay, who does he take from the offensive side of the ball? The only person would have been Emory Jones, but Emory hadn't really been a starter, where Zach Carter and Ventrell Miller have played quite a bit. So I think Florida, like I told you, JC, the key for Florida's defense this year are the two defensive tackles that came in the transfer portal. If they don't play at a high level, it's going to be a long year. They are the two pieces that we have got to have play well. Offensively, I think Emory is a guy that's going to probably throw for 2,500 yards, run for 800 or 900. The key for them to have the year they want, and I think I told you, or I'm on so many shows, I can't remember who I told this to. He has to complete all the easy throws, meaning the guy that's wide ass open in the flat, complete it. The guy on the flare or the swing out of the backfield, complete it. A guy's on a wheel route, wide open, you got to complete it. You can't miss the easy throws when you're not a pure, legitimate passer. But with his running ability, it's going to allow guys to be wide open. I mean, you think back to when the Tebow days, he wasn't a great passer either, but guys were running wide open because of the threat of him running the football. I think that's what you're going to see in Dan Mullen's office this year. We'll see. But like I told you the other day, I looked again this morning at the list of guys going to the SEC media days. I'd only heard about 5 of them out of 28 of them. So there's not a whole lot of star power right now. Doesn't mean there won't be a lot of stars, but it'll be interesting. One thing that I read yesterday, JC, Texas A&M, they're it's not associated with the university, obviously, but I think it's called texags.com, one of their websites. They're paying 2 players for interviews. I don't know if it's daily or weekly or what, $10,000 a piece. One of them's Isaiah Spiller, their tailback. I can't remember.
Wow.
It surprises me because, getting players to talk or do interviews or whatever, they're not going to say anything that's going to bring in viewers. You know what I mean?
No.
They have the standard lines. We're going to go out there. We're going to take it one game at a time. We're going to compete hard. Yada yada. All that. So I was really surprised. But A&M does have a lot of money out there from their boosters that they can throw around.
Well, that's fine if you have a lot of money, but people with a lot of money certainly are somewhat selective in how they choose to spend it. And if you're telling me that these kids are being paid to dump a bunch of cliches, I got to question the people with the money spending it, because honestly, I don't know what the point of that would be, as you just said. So to me, it's almost gotten to the point now where if they start having to pay players just to talk and not dump cliches, what the hell are these people spending money on? I mean, why don't they go feed some homeless people? I mean, dear God, why would you spend money on something like that? There's got to be more to it, QB. I can't imagine if I had $10,000 to just throw away outside a window or as I was driving a car or put it in a blender. I mean, why would I do that? Even if I had it, why would I do it?
Well, if you had an extra $10,000, you would have water in your hotel today.
If I had extra $10,000, I probably would not be on the second floor of this place. That's a great point. But I'll tell you this, I'm getting comped for last night, because when I got back from losing money in the casino last night, I really wanted a hot shower after a long travel day, and it just didn't happen for JC. So JC was, JC was losing the game 42-6 in the third quarter last night. And
JC, give us a recap on your tennis match. What happened at the tennis match?
So again, this is another reason why the world of JC is not as great as it appears. JC was up 4-1 in the first set, was up 5-2 in the first set, and lost at 7-6. Comes back and wins 6-3 in the second set, only to lose a 10-6 tiebreaker against guys who, honest to God, I think they're literally half dead. I don't know how I lost. And
maybe they were in better shape than you. They had more endurance.
No, they couldn't move. I just failed. It was a big F. Another C- day for JC. So again, that's just a choke. That's all I can tell you. I feel like the Phoenix Suns right now. I kind of feel like Louis Oosthuizen.
Oh, we're gonna get to him in a minute. Don't bring him up. We're gonna get to golf in a minute.
I'm just telling you how I feel. I feel like Louis. I feel like it was there for the taking. Had it in my hand, put it in my pocket, and there's a hole in my pocket, and it fell right out my pants. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah. Turn your car or truck into a rolling billboard for your business or brand with an eye-catching vehicle wrap from Wrap Spot. This July, mention promo code Shane and receive 13% off your vehicle wrap. We're speaking with JC on the Titan MR hotline. He's coming to us live from, are you in Detroit, Michigan?
No, dude, I'm about 300 miles. I'm up there at the top, a place called Traverse City. And it's at the top of Lake Michigan, literally at the top of Lake Michigan on the Lower Peninsula. And it's a beautiful place. I mean, the country up here is pretty. It really is. There's not much to it, but there's some great golf courses up here, and I'm going to try them out. And, if I can get a hot shower, it'd be a bonus.
Yeah. Gene asked on Facebook Live, do we have any comments on Cam Neubauer resigning as the women's basketball coach? I don't have any information on that. I know it's a very difficult, very difficult job.
TV, when more than 10 people show up for a women's basketball game, then I'll care. Okay? And I actually may not care, even if more than 10 people show up. So Florida's women's basketball program, for as long as I can remember, has been an abject failure since Carol Ross. When Carol Ross was here, it was pretty competitive. It was okay. It really was. Alicia Milton, good players. Since then, though, it has been nothing short of an abject fail. And like I said, when more than 10 people show up, it'll matter. But even then, I don't think it will. So that's just the way it is here. Sorry.
Yeah, John says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Melton Law, when we were talking about the defensive line, at least I was, he says he thinks Dexter up front will play a big role also in that. He needs to. I don't think I talked to some coaches and some people that evaluate grade players on every play. They were disappointed in his performance last year. Now, again, he didn't really have an all season. He played as a true freshman a little bit here and there, but I don't think he's a starter, but he will need to play much better than he did last year. So Dan says so much for that Wimbledon run for JC.
Yeah, no, forget it, Dan. Tennis is just, I'm a 3.0 for life. I don't think it's getting any better. I don't want to play 5 days a week. And I think that's what's going to take. And plus, there's a lot of sandbagging going on. Guys that shouldn't be in my division are playing. I mean, you think Andre Agassi was in my division. It's ridiculous. As far as Florida, it's like this, QB. This is about finding out who can play. And we don't know. And that's the only thing I think anybody in the media or anybody on the staff can tell you is that nobody really knows until practice starts and we get them on the field in those first 2 games to see who can play. And I think, if you get recruited to come to Florida, you can obviously play, but can you play at this level? And that, you can recruit kids to play football. You just don't know, though, what they're going to turn out to be when they hit the game, when they hit the field on Saturday. And there's a lot of question marks, obviously, and we got to find out who these kids are. And we know a couple of them, but obviously, you just said Emory Jones needs to throw for 2,500 yards. Well, okay, I think he'll run for 2,500 yards before he throws for it.
No.
Do that.
Damn, if he runs for 2,500 yards, that'd be like the most ever in the history of the NCAA, JC.
No, I'm being facetious. I'm not being serious about this. We just know that, like you said, he has to run the football. But if you got a defense throwing 8 guys in the box, they're going to make him throw it. So this is another question we have to get answered. That we can only have answered once they start playing. I don't think anybody knows or can say for any definitive point of time that we actually know who the playmaker is going to be on this team. Nobody knows. I don't think anybody knows. I don't even know if Bowen knows.
Yeah, a lot of question marks. There's no question. Sandy says here on Facebook Live, happy birthday to you, Sandy. She's going to spend her birthday at the Hard Rock.
God bless her. I hope she does better at the Hard Rock than I did at the Turtle Creek Casino. I hope you win, Sandy. Win all you can, but don't go crazy. And good luck. Happy birthday.
If you've got joint pain in your knees, shoulders, hip, or back that won't go away, you need to check out QC Kinetics for long-lasting relief. No surgery, drugs, or downtime. Schedule your free consultation at QC Kinetics, 352-400-4550. Call them today. That's QC Kinetics, 352-400-4550. Speaking with JC on the Titan More Hotline, we'll be joined by Danny Wuerffel in the second portion. We're going to run some Gator quarterbacks on the back end of the shows this week before we get all cranked up and ready for football next week. JC, you probably need to call QC Kinetics. You had a rough day on a rough weekend on the tennis courts, and now you're having some issues on your golf trip.
Yeah, it's less than exciting to this point. But hey, who knows? Maybe I'll go out and shoot 78 today, 77, something like that, and lead this tournament. I don't know. I mean, I'm looking forward to playing golf, that's for sure. I wouldn't be all the way the hell up here if I wasn't. So we'll see if things can turn around. I'm confident that I can try to help that happen, make that happen. But, I mentioned Louis Oosthuizen earlier. I don't know, QB, if this guy really knows how to win a major yet. He's won one. It was so long ago. I really thought he was locked in to win this. If you're going to win a British Open or an Open Championship, then you want to do it when the conditions are completely benign, like they were. The course was there for the taking, and the next superstar on tour is already a superstar, Colin Morikawa. I thought, 3-4 years ago, QB, I said Jordan Spieth could maybe challenge Jack's record for majors because of how young he was, and you just do the math, get one a year or two every other year, and you could get there. It could be this guy instead. I don't know if Jordan's going to do it, but this guy's already gotten two, and he's very young. And he can hit an iron bet as good as anybody on that damn tour. And he just took that championship right out of Louis' hand.
Yeah, Louis, I think, has 9 top 3 finishes in majors, which is incredible. He's still a phenomenal player. I think he's 38 years old. Maybe he needs to practice a little more, maybe have a little pressure on him down at Golden Ocala from now on some 10-5 games, getting ready for these majors.
Yeah.
But
good point.
Colin Morikawa, as you said, his game, he made so many clutch putts yesterday to close that thing out. But at 24 years old, this is his second major. You're right, but there's so many young good players on tour.
There are.
But yeah, Morikawa, I always pick him. I don't know why I didn't pick him for this, but
I don't either.
Boy, was he good. He was so good yesterday.
His iron play was just amazing. Remember, this is a golf course that even though the conditions were very easy, the lies there on that very hilly course, you don't know what your lie is going to be. The way this guy hit irons in the greens is why he won. Of course, he putted well. But his iron play is so good that it's up there in the top 10 on tour. It really is. And he's so young that I think he's got a real chance to win a bunch of majors, not just one or two. And I've said this about Jordan Spieth. It hasn't turned out yet. He's got 3. Brooks Koepka's got 4, probably should have 6. But this guy is so young that there's a lot of time for him to really make a run at either Tiger or Jack. Maybe that's being a little out there, but he's got the game, QB. He has the game to win, as we've seen. You win a PGA, you win a British Open. I think it's just a matter of time before you lock it in at the Masters and maybe even the U.S. Open.
Yeah, we got a couple of Facebook Lives and some texts here I want to get to, JC. David says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Melton Law, referring back to women's basketball, maybe pay the female basketball player for interviews. The problem is I don't know what business is going to fork out money for that.
Well, okay, so let's pay them. What are they going to say that makes you want to spend that money?
Right. That's my point. Yeah, I agree.
Right. Exactly. So, again, until 10 people show up, who cares? And Florida basketball on the women's side has just been an abject failure. It has. I mean, there's no denying it. Until, since Carol Ross, there's been nothing here to get excited about. They've tried. It just hasn't worked. I mean, Carolyn Peck, you would have thought she was great, right? She didn't work out. And that's just, there's something about women's basketball at UF that just doesn't seem to click. And I don't know why this coach left. Maybe we'll find out. Who knows? But I don't think 10 people really care why he left. So,
yeah.
We'll see.
Tim says on Facebook Live, Koepka should have been in the hunt if he could putt. He was in the hunt. He played so bad on Saturday. Man, he played really well yesterday.
Yeah, he did. He did. And I was surprised that, again, he could have 6 majors by now. He could have won the Masters. If he had putt well, he would have won the U.S. Open. If he had just made some putts, typically you have to make to win these things, and he knows how to do that. He's got 4 major championships. He could easily have 6, but he's going to be in the running at all of these deals because that's what he gears his game toward, and that's what he plays for.
I was watching some of the not post game, whatever they call it, after the tournament stuff on the Golf Channel with Justin Leonard and that whole crew, and they were talking about Louis Oosthuizen and about how they feel like he needs to, I don't want to say play harder, I don't know what the right, compete harder, whatever it is, on the regular tour, not just in the majors. Koepka's the same way. Koepka and Louis are the same player. They don't give a damn about the Rocket Mortgage Challenge or any of that stuff. All those 2 guys care about are the majors.
Well, yeah, and I think most of all the players care about mostly is the majors, but you're right. There's a lot of guys that just don't bother in between. And I don't know if that's helpful or hurtful or whatever it is. I mean, we talked about Koepka. He doesn't practice much and this, that, and the other. As far as Louis goes, he's had so many chances. He almost feels like Ricky Fowler. There was a year when Ricky Fowler was really close. I think the year he won the TPC or the Players Championship, either the year before that or during that year, this guy was second place a lot. And sometimes it just doesn't happen. Nobody can understand how I would lose up 5-2 in the first set. Nobody understands that. And it's just one of these things where in golf, you get to close the major out and you just can't do it. It's hard to understand. But maybe he'll do it. But you're right. The age is creeping up on him. He's 38. He's got young guys who are 15 years younger than he is, 14 years younger than he is, that are coming up to play. And I just don't know if time is on his side. I would say it's not. And he's so close. I just wonder if he's second guessing whether or not he'll ever win another major.
Facebook Live brought to you by Mellon Law, the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. Scott says, the A&M alumni paying players to talk is not about wanting to hear what they have to say, but more about keeping them out of the portal. Well, there's only 2 of them. One of them is the best running back in the SEC, Isaiah Spiller, and I believe he's a senior, so he wouldn't be transferring anyway. I can't remember who the other guy is. I see where I can see that, but it's it's still interesting to me that you haven't heard Alabama players, Georgia players, or Florida players getting any kind of big deals. Have you, JC? Have you heard anything?
No, absolutely not. And I think, at some schools, they buy into a system. That system either includes stuff like this or it doesn't, or has a variation of it. But their purpose of being there is to try to compete, get on the field, and get in the NFL. A $10,000 check is not going to change your life. A $10 million check could. And if Isaiah Spiller wants to make $10,000 because, I don't know, some idiot wants to pay him to speak or just keep him out of the transfer portal, that's fine. But the bottom line is these guys want to go to the NFL. And if he doesn't think he can do that at Texas A&M, what's he going to do? He's going to go transfer to Louisville? He's going to go transfer to Kansas State? I mean, you're at Texas A&M. Why in God's name would you leave? Oh, wait,
well, he's not. He's the best. He's the best running back in the league.
But I'm saying to the emailer's point, or to the point we just made, if this is about keeping him out of the transfer portal, then he's not there for the right reasons anyway. They're trying to get to the NFL at Alabama, dude. That's why you go to Alabama. And again, a $10,000 check doesn't change your life. A $10 million check changes your life. And do you have a better chance to get in the NFL at Texas A&M or at Alabama, or do you have a better chance to get in the NFL messing around at Louisville? And who knows? I don't know what the answer is. But if you're at Texas A&M, Why are you leaving? Because they're not going to pay you? Come on.
Yeah, so we got a text on the Titan MR
football game.
Yeah, got a text on the Titan MR text line from Gary. He says, "Is SEC Media Days broadcast live and where to watch?" SEC Network. I think they're already kicked off the coverage this morning. It doesn't actually start. I think the commissioner will speak a little bit, address the media, and then Dan Mullen will take the stage. And I can't remember if it's 12:30 Eastern time or 12:30 Central time. But yeah, turn it on the SEC Network, and they will have great coverage like they always do. We got another text here on the Titan MR text line from Daryl. He says, "Good morning, guys. Do you think SEC Media Days have got duller as the years have gone by?" Well, they get a lot more coverage. I mean, you're going to hear the coach speak. I mean, I think anyone in the media misses Coach Spurrier being there because you never know what he may have said. Now, however, you got Leach and Kiffin now. They kind of have taken the podium over. You never know what those two dudes might say.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about the personalities up there, but I think you're right. Most of it's just going to be coach speak, cliches, we're going to this, we're going to that. But it is one of those events that does get people to start thinking about what's about to happen, and that's a good thing. And I think a month from now, we're really going to be excited about, the start up in a couple of weeks. So I don't know. I'd rather have it than not have it, but I don't know how much you're going to get out of this. I agree with you on the personalities. That will determine how interesting some of this is, and certainly Mike Leach can entertain you, I guess is the right word. I don't know. But then you got guys like, I don't know, this kid at Shane Beamer. Who knows what he's going to say? I don't know what the Vanderbilt coach is all about. He's probably not that interesting.
Did you see, speaking of Vanderbilt, the Vanderbilt coach took every number away from every player. And so you have to earn your number. So the roster, I saw it. The roster has all the names, where they're from, their weight, height, all that stuff. Nobody has a number. Dumbest damn thing I ever heard.
Well, I don't know. I mean, gimmicks are great, but at Vanderbilt, winning 4 games would be tremendous. Maybe they should think about that number. How many games can we win this year? And maybe they can say, okay, let's try 4. See what happens at 4. Let's go over under 4. I'm probably going to go under. But, at Vanderbilt, there's not a whole lot to talk about, frankly. So I don't know if he's trying to strum up interest or not. Usually you go to a game at Nashville and there's more fans from the visiting side cheering in the stadium. It's just the way it is there. So it's a great place to go to, but they don't have much of a home field. I don't know. I mean, I think what we'll get is probably the same stuff we would always get out of Nick Saban. Ed Orgeron's going to entertain you with his dialect and the way he talks, and what he could say is interesting because of all the turmoil that you talked about at LSU. I don't know if the media will challenge him about any of that. Probably not. They should, but they won't. So I don't know how much we're really going to dig into anything here, but the fact that it's happening is the point, and that's a good thing.
Well, I think the media is going to ask Coach O about all the stuff going on at LSU. I think he's just going to have that corporate line every time they ask him. He's already memorized it, and he's going to say it every time, I guarantee you. Again, at 12:15, Florida kicks off. Dan Mullen, Zach Carter, and Ventrell Miller. And John says here on Facebook Live, if you want to watch the SEC Media Day coverage, it's kicked off already. Peter Burns and some dude named Chris Doring is talking Gators right now.
Yeah, Chris Doring. Yeah, I've heard of him.
Speaking of him, JC, at Chris Doring Mortgage, they do mortgage lending right, helping home buyers throughout Gainesville and North Central Florida. Call Chris Doring Mortgage today at 352-244-0840. So what were you going to say about Chris Doring?
No, I mean, great Gator, Hall of Fame Gator. Does a great job on the SEC Network. I enjoy listening to his analysis on Saturdays because he really digs into it well. And whatever he says on the offensive side of the ball, you can pretty much take to the bank. It's good. Between him and Gene Chiswick, I think they have a good chemistry, and they really do a great job breaking down the games. And just as a friend, I think he's one of the more charismatic type of guys you'll see on the media because he can back up everything he says because of his experience and what he knows about offense and what he knows about football and what he's been taught by Steve Spurrier, what he's learned from his teammates and all the games that he's played. He's like you, except he's on the SEC Network. And
that's right.
Talking to me. And you're talking.
That's right. We're talking to more people than he is, by the way. JC, before I let you go, I got a couple of topics here I want you to, as I'm watching my producer eat Krispy Kreme donuts.
I can something like that right about that.
So, first of all, how about that shooting that went on at the Washington Nationals game, man?
Man, it's going to just bring up gun control. All you're going to hear about is gun control. I don't know. I think it's one of the things that I guess could happen anywhere, QB. You ever been to an Oakland Raiders game? I mean, you take your life.
I've been to many Oakland Raiders games.
Yeah, but not in stands. You haven't. You were protected on the field. If you
how's their protection there? Here. I think there was a movie, and I've always thought this because there's so many crazy people out there, and until they put the dang deals you go through security at the airport, there's so many wackos out there, JC. How somebody hadn't bought a ticket and sat on the top row of a stadium packed with 100,000 people and done something crazy has really surprised me. I hope it never happens.
Don't give
but
them
trust
any
me.
ideas.
But trust me. There was a movie. I can't remember a sports movie where that happened. But trust me, even as a player, I don't think you're protected.
No, it's true. I mean, I don't know anything about security and how.
Rick says the shooting was outside the game. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was. No, it's true.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Okay.
Not inside the stadium. It was outside the stadium, in the neighborhood that surrounds wherever they play. But again, we're talking about Washington, D.C. It's not the safest place. It's a shame that American cities today have turned into war zones, and they have. But it's it's the world we live in right now. I don't know what the answers are. That's way above my pay grade, QB.
Yeah, somebody had a Facebook Live here about Florida's team total, win total, and it went away. I want to say, if somebody wants to put it back up there, was it 8 or 8.5? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was 8. I want to say it was 8.5 or 8, something like that. Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, today on July the 18th or whatever the hell the date is, I would say I would play it over because I think there's a lot of winnable games on that schedule.
Well, we played 12. That means they think we're going to lose at least 4 games.
4. Yeah, I mean if you're 8-4, that's what
we're 8-4 last year.
Right. So I'm thinking over, but I'm also thinking that it's very conceivable that unless they figure out how to stop people, it could be under.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not like I told you. The key to the defense are the 2 transfers.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we'll see how they play, but we don't know that, do we? If they were really superstars and they were great, they might not have left where they were. Maybe they would, but I would think they would not leave. I think that Florida's thing is they can't allow a lot of teams to just go crazy offensively on them because I don't think the offense this year's version of the offense is going to be anything comparable to last year. So it's going to be hard to just get in a track meet with teams. So you better figure out how to stop folks. And there's maybe 2 or 3 games I see on the schedule where that could really be a problem. Other than that, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of track meets, so to speak, on that schedule. And so, they do play Alabama out of the West. They play LSU out of the West, but
there's only 3. There's only 3 potential losses.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So that would give you more than 8, right?
Yeah.
So you would go 9-3. So that's what I'm thinking today. We'll see after those first 2 games. If we're not blowing out the FAU and USF, then I'll change my mind quickly. But I think that's what we're looking at is a 9-3 type of year, I think.
John said it was 8.8, and that was given out by ESPN FPI. 8.8. I don't know if I've ever seen that.
I don't know what 0.8 has to do with anything, but maybe that's closer to 9 than it is 8. So I'll go with 9 then.
I mean, the only 3 teams I look at that could possibly be losses would be Georgia, Alabama, and LSU. So, I mean, we'll see.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Now there'll be a team that surprises you that's currently on the schedule that does nothing for you.
Well, I mean I don't know. There's some people that pick us 4th in the East. They think Kentucky and Missouri are going to be better than us. I don't know how that's possible.
Sure. I mean, look, Kentucky easily could have won that game last year. You know that. And
was that last year?
Well, it was either last year or the year before. I think it was last year. No, maybe it wasn't.
No, it was the previous year.
It was the year before. You're right. But again, we don't have those players offensively this year that they had last year. And Missouri has always had some sort of magical power on Florida. It's kind of hard to understand why Missouri competes well against Florida. If you look at the overall record between Missouri and Florida since they joined the SEC, it's pretty tight. You would think it wouldn't be, but it is for some reason. I can't explain that.
JC, before we let you go here, I want to get your thoughts. I think the Olympics are starting pretty soon. I'll be honest with you, I have not followed it.
Oh my God! Yeah,
I know. I saw a lot of interviews from the golfers that will be participating from the PGA Tour, and a lot of them are basically, they just said we're going to go play golf and sit in our hotel room. I saw where Bradley Beal, the Gator, I don't think he's making the trip now. I mean,
I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why you would go to this unless you're just a total amateur athlete that wants to win a gold medal in front of nobody. And
right, but they're not allowing these people because they quote tested positive, which
I guess this COVID thing, this variant thing, is a real story. I mean, the market this morning is going to go down because of this. There's a fear, and this is a very real fear. And maybe this is the most important thing I'm going to say on this segment with you, QB, is that there is a fear that this variant or this COVID-19 thing is going to create more issues like what we've gone through in spite of the vaccine. And I really don't know how that's going to affect football. But if players start showing up sick, or if things keep coming back the way it seems like it's happening elsewhere, we're going to have a real problem. But
it's people that have been vaccinated that are getting positive results.
Well, we're using an experimental vaccine, aren't we? So I really have that. That's the one thing that scares me right now, is that we have a recurrence. And I don't want to sound negative. I want to be optimistic about this. But I mean, the market's down 500 points on the open this morning, and there's reasons for that, and it has to do with COVID. There are reasons the interest rates are falling right now, and that's because people are scared the economies of scale will not grow. That affects everything. Okay, that affects everything, including athletics, including sports. The Olympics are basically a non-event right now. Okay, I don't have any idea who the hell is going to go to the Winter Olympics in February in China. And I tell you right now, if you can't go to Japan, you better just keep this in mind. It's not over yet. That's I guess the point I'm making, is that this COVID thing is far from over, unfortunately. And I hate saying it, but I do believe that's the case.
Before we let you go, we're going to do our Comfort Temp this day in sports. Comfort Temp is our business. Peace of mind is our promise. Comfort Temp's now hiring team members of all levels of experience, great culture and benefits, and opportunity for growth. $1,000 sign-on bonus. Give Comfort Temp a call, 352-376-2366. This day in 1987 at the British Open at Muirfield.
Yeah.
Sir Nick Faldo wins his first major title by one shot over Paul Azinger.
Yeah, 3-time Open winner. He's won the Masters a bunch. Great British golfer, and certainly one of their best that ever come out of England. Maybe the best, frankly. But he's I think he's an Orlando resident. I think he lives down in Orlando. Most of them do, but he was a great one. He was really good. I mean, you talk about a guy that knew how to close. That's your guy. It's not Louis Oosthuizen. It's Nick Faldo. Yeah.
Before we let you go, Tim has a Facebook Live here brought to you by Mellon. He says the U.S. team will be vaccinated. Olympics will be in trouble with non-vaccinated athletes. I don't think that's true. Bradley Beal was on the Olympic team. He tested positive. He's not going. Am I wrong there?
I mean, that's one case where you're probably right.
Well, the one girl, the girl, one of our tennis players just tested positive. She can't go.
Well, that's the thing. That's why I'm saying this is scary, because of what's happening now with these variants. And I'm not an epidemiologist, and I don't know much about biology, but I'll tell you that story seems to be reoccurring. It feels like it's coming back to me. And I'm not trying to be an alarmist. I don't want to be an alarmist. But look at the Olympics. It's going to be awful. They're not going to really have a true Olympics. And so I'm just very I'm very wary of what could be coming, and I hope I'm wrong.
Yep. All right, JC, go get you a new hotel room. Yeah. Move to a new facility. That's what I would recommend, and get a new travel agent.
Yeah, without a doubt. Thanks, QB.
All right, that's JC. Join us on the Titan More Hotline. We come back. We're going to be joined by former Gator quarterback Danny Wuerffel. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our gridiron sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, non-surgical regeneration, live pain-free. South State Bank, Celebration Point Town Center, Chris Doring Mortgage. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Big Mills Cheesesteaks, MB Listing, Cornerstone Financial, McDonald's of Gainesville, My IT Masters, Gainesville Neon and Signs, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Chick-fil-A on Archer Road, Avra and Smith, Dowling Signs, Chomp Carter Apparel, Ruse Ogra Agent, State Farm Insurance, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit podupwithshane.com and click the advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
We're looking for all type of restaurant people, managers, servers, bartenders, hosts, cooks, dishwashers, bussers. If you think you're good in the restaurant business, then give us a call.
Spurrier's Gridiron Grill job fair is open now. All you have to do is go to spurriersdraft.com and fill out an application.
We're looking for the good team members, and we're looking for people with a wonderful attitude that can make Spurrier's Gridiron Grill the best we can possibly be. To apply, go to spurriersdraft.com.
We're going to go straight to the Titan MRI phone line, and we're joined by 1996 Heisman Trophy winner Danny Wuerffel. Danny, welcome to the program. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. Always good to be with you, Shane.
Well, Danny, before we jump into what you got going on these days, let's talk back about the Gators. Year two of Dan Mullen. He's kind of turned this program back around to where we all want it. Talk briefly about what you have seen Dan do, and then also the great story of Kyle Trask.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Two really, really great bright spots and exciting things to be talking about. And, I think we all were optimistic when we hired Coach Mullen. I remember his initial press conference, relentless effort. And but to think in the first 2 years he would have done what he's done far exceeded any hopes that I had or expectations. And to see how he's a great recruiter, to see how he motivates his team, but also to see the adjustments that he makes with his personnel all the way into strategy in the game, I think has just really been impressive for me. I think he is upper echelon of all college coaches, and we're really, really lucky to have him. And he loves being a Gator. So I'm as hurt. Clearly to recognize that Kyle has some skill sets that, some people may not quite get the depth of it, but he's got in my opinion, like an NFL type brain where he's processing information so quickly and finding open spots on the field and putting the ball in the spots where the receivers have a chance. And then you look at obviously had a great receiver core we had. So for Mullen to make that adjustment and to really, kind of move away from the run, we weren't going to be able to run the ball much anyway, and to have such an effective season, I think was fantastic. And then, a little more on Kyle, just one of the most unique stories you'll ever hear for a starting college quarterback. But I'm just super impressed with his hard work, his patience. It's a great story to tell your kids and to tell your youngsters, your coaching, about perseverance and working hard and doing it the right way. And I'm just thrilled he'll be coming back, and I'm really looking forward to this season.
Danny, it's JC. Listen, you've spent a lot of your life in New Orleans, in that area. Louisiana is a state that you're familiar with, of course, with your ministry. Joe Burrow was a player that came in there and just really took over the place with the year he had. And so if you would, comment a little bit on Joe, and then comment on what it's meant to the people of New Orleans in your mind, and what you've seen or haven't seen or heard about the effect that LSU football had on that state with the championship that they won and the coach that they won it with Ed Orgeron.
I mean, that's an unheard of season that they've had. I think you put all that together, and you got add Joe Brady to the mix, who really, I think, was a special part of that as well. And I mean, it's hard to even imagine a quarterback having the season that Joe had, kind of coming out of nowhere as well in that level of play. So just super happy for Joe. I got to meet him and his family at the Heisman stuff, and just quality people. And then, of course, Ed Orgeron is just, all Cajun as could be. And talk about overcoming all the doubters who just didn't think he'd be an upper echelon quarterback. And but I'm no LSU fan. I love being to tease LSU, and having lived there and worked there, got a lot of rivalry blood going. But I even found myself just really happy for them, and all my friends that are overly happy, and the whole state. I mean, Orgeron and Burrow could walk across any bayou and probably wouldn't sink.
Oh, yeah. We're speaking with Danny Wuerffel, 1996 Heisman Trophy winner, also executive director of Desire Street Ministries. Danny, you have a trophy named after you called the Wuerffel Trophy for college footballs. It's the premier award for community service. Talk a little bit about, I think you awarded the winner this week in Destin or Fort Walton Beach area. Talk a little bit about the Wuerffel Trophy.
Yeah, several years ago, a group said they wanted to honor a college football player who best exemplified community service. And so we started this, and this was our 15th year. We've had probably up to almost 1,000 young men nominated for this award over all these years, and we try to highlight each and every one of them. But you do have to pick a winner, which is always hard. This year, the quarterback from Western Michigan, John Wassink, won the award. He just incredible community service, mentored a kid the entire time he was there. Mission trip to the Dominican Republic, ran the FCA, visited hospitals, helped feed the hungry. I mean, just an incredible resume of a young man. And we had the presentation of the award here, and Bo Jackson was the speaker, and a lot of.
You there, Danny?
Hear me?
Yeah, we got you. We got you back.
Issue.
You want to start back over?
Yeah, we got you right there.
Okay.
Real quick, we got a couple of texts here on the Titan MRI text line. This is from Daryl. Could you ask Danny what it was like hammering the dogs between the hedges?
The bushes, or I guess they call them the hedges. Man, especially now that I live in Atlanta, the fact that we beat them so good every year, and once up there, was just really important part of my history now. I kind of like Coach Spur. You could always tell he really liked beating the dogs. There was something about them that just must have got under his skin in his lifetime. So that game was always special, and we love. I like to say, people ask me, why did you move to Atlanta? Don't you know that Gators get a lot of trouble from the Bulldogs? And I just say, they never gave us any trouble.
That's very true. We got another text here. This is from Jack. He wants to know, Danny, will you attend any home games next season?
Probably so. I usually try to get to one or two, and I think LSU might be on the radar. But yeah, it's always great to be back there, and it's going to be an exciting season for sure.
And Frank texts on the Titan MRI text line, will we have the chicken and Wuerffel at the new Spurrier's Gridiron Grill? Oh. Has the HBC asked you if he can name it after you?
Chicken and Wuerffel chicken. Hadn't asked yet, but if Shane, if you'll be my agent, I'll be happy to negotiate.
We'll negotiate. So we'll get a good price on that.
Yeah, I think you would. Danny, here's a question for you. The guy asked me the other day, because I told them that you were going to be on the show. This was Saturday night, and the simple question was, Danny Wuerffel, very humble guy, I don't know him, but what does he feel like when he sees a statue in front of the stadium. What does that make? I mean, how does that make you feel?
It's weird. It's exciting. You know, there's all sorts of different emotions. I had a friend and my son said we should do some candid shots over there. And last time I was there, it was like nobody was around, and this woman and her daughter were getting a picture in front of Tebow's statue, and I said, "Oh, can I take the picture for you?" And they're like, "Oh, sure." And I said, "Do you want one in front of the Spurrier or this other guy?" And they're like, "Oh, no, we don't know who they are." Tebow's great.
Tebow will do just fine. Thank you.
That's hilarious. Well, Danny, before we let you go, you're involved with Desire Street Ministries. You're the executive director. Let people know what Desire Street's all about real quickly, how they can contribute, how they can help out, and if you want to talk about the Desire Cup, which I think is a great event that you have with the Georgia Bulldog folks over in Jacksonville.
Well, thanks. Yeah, Desire Street is an organization that I've been working at really since I started volunteering in 1997 when I was drafted by the Saints. We started in New Orleans, and then now our headquarters are in Atlanta, and we work with leaders that live in very difficult, under-resourced neighborhoods and are working with kids and families. And so we come in and we'll support those leaders for 5+ years and help them develop their organizations and their capacities as leaders and help them raise money. And so it's been an incredibly rewarding and yet challenging opportunity to serve. And yeah, desirestreet.org is our website. And as Shane mentioned, our one kind of big fundraiser we do is a big Florida-Georgia golf tournament. Shane's been a big part of that, as well as Spurrier and Dooley, and Herschel Walker's been there, and Tebow and Motto. They're great Gator players and Bulldog players. But it's Thursday and Friday right before the Florida-Georgia game. And so if people are interested in that, you can also check out that website, desirestreet.org.
Well, Danny, we appreciate you joining the program. I know you're a busy man, but have a good day, buddy, and we'll talk to you,
Danny, thanks.
Later.
All right, guys. Take care. Thank you.
All right, that's Danny Wuerffel, 1996 Heisman Trophy winner, Executive Director of Desire Street Ministries. We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our gridiron sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, won't back down. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, non-surgical regeneration, live pain-free. South State Bank, Celebration Point Town Center, Chris Doring Mortgage. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Adams Rib Company, Doreen Wiebe Realtor Caldwell Banker, MM Parish, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Wrap Spot, Okido America, Gators Dockside, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Meadowbrook Golf Course, Silverback Concrete Company. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit PodUpWithShane.com and click the Advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
We're looking for all type of restaurant people, managers, servers, bartenders, hosts, cooks, dishwashers, bussers. If you think you're good in the restaurant business, then give us a call.
Spurrier's Gridiron Grill job fair is open now. All you have to do is go to spurriersdraft.com and fill out an application.
We're looking for the good team members, and we're looking for people with a wonderful attitude that can make Spurrier's Gridiron Grill the best we can possibly be. To apply, go to spurriersdraft.com.